So we're going to start with Sauber. Now, Sauber have had an awful season so far. Let's not get away from that fact. They are the only Formula 1 team in the championship to not score a single point. Both Zhou and Valtteri Bottas have failed to score any points during this season so far. They comfortably have the worst car on the grid. The positives for Sauber really is the fact they've got this Audi sponsorship and money coming in. Apparently though, they already have some money coming in, so they don't really have an excuse for producing such a poor car. I don't really blame Zhou or Valtteri Bottas that much for their performances this season. Yes, they haven't been great, either of them, I don't think, but something that can't be denied is that Bottas has been the better of the two drivers, and this is one of the driver grades that I was referring to earlier when I said that, you know, one of them has changed since I actually did my previous mid-season driver grades, and that's that I think Bottas deserves a higher grade than Zhou. You look at the head-to-head of them so far this season, Bottas finishing 9 times ahead of Zhou managing it just 5 times ahead of Bottas. But in terms of Sauber, in terms of their kind of performance this season and the outlook for the rest of this season, it's not looking good. The closest they've come to scoring points have been during the Bahrain Grand Prix at the very start of the season, where Zhou finished in 11th. The only reason why Zhou is above Bottas in the championship, Bottas 21st and last unfortunately in the championship, below even Logan Sargent, which does not make for good reading. And also Zhou got 9th place during the Chinese Grand Prix sprint as well, so only the top 8 score points during the sprint, so he missed out there. But Sauber don't even look like they're going to score points this season. I mean, if you look at their recent results, it's embarrassing to say the least. The closest they've come recently to scoring points was Zhou in Spain in 13th. But since then, during the last 4 rounds, they haven't finished higher than 15th. And in a 20-car race, where you're 2 of the cars, and there are cars retiring and getting disqualified and stuff like that, it's not a good look. It's really not a good look. And even operationally, from a team point of view, things like the pit stops being really slow early on in the season, like we had some embarrassingly slow pit stops that could have cost them points potentially. But even then, the pace of the car, it's just not there. The main green shoots of optimism really for Sauber is the fact they've got Nico Hülkenberg coming in next year. We don't know who's going to be in that second seat alongside him. It could be Bottas, it could be Zhou, it could be somebody else, someone like Bortoleto, like has been rumoured. And the fact that I'm talking about 2025 as a positive thing for them really shows that there's not really much hope for them in 2024. They might score the odd point here and there, but they're still more than likely going to finish bottom of the championship. And they've had, like I said, they haven't really shown any signs recently of getting close to a points finish in Formula 1. So yeah, it's pretty embarrassing for Sauber. They've obviously got, you know, they've got the likes of Mattia Binotto coming in, and also on top of that, and they've also got Jonathan Wheatley coming in as a team principal as well for the team. Those are positive things for the future for sure, but right now Sauber, in terms of a grade, in terms of what I'm going to grade them, I really can't give them much better than an F. You know, this season has been pretty much the definition of a failure for them. They've scored no points. They haven't showed like they're going to score points. Yes, they've come close a few times, but even then you have to say they've been slightly lucky to get that close. In terms of the 2 drivers, I've given Bottas a C because, like I said, he's resoundingly beaten Zhou, especially in qualifying, which at the moment, the Saubers are just pretty much competing against themselves and also the Williams of Logan Sargent, and that's kind of it. Zhou, I've given a D. I don't think he's that bad of a driver, but I don't think he's going to be renewed for 2025 either. If they're going to keep on one of them drivers for next year, it's going to be Bottas, but even Bottas I wouldn't say is that safe, which I think is a little harsh on the guy. I think he is a good driver. He's obviously someone who on his day challenged Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. Obviously his day was not that often, but you're competing against Lewis Hamilton, so it's a pretty difficult yardstick to measure up against. But yeah, those are my grades, guys, for Sauber. F overall because this season's been a failure, but I think there's positivity for the team going forwards into the future for future seasons, but right now in 24 it is literally a failure for them, unfortunately.